This is the plaintiff, Shantina Carrison. She says her car was towed by the defendant's towing company, and he failed to notify the cops or her that he had her car. Now he's telling her she owes thousands of dollars in storage fees, and if she wants to get her car back, she's got to pay it. This is a scam, according to the cops. What he's doing is illegal, and she's suing them for $4,121.05, the amount she's out. This is the defendant, Shadu Branch. He says the police issued a ticket to the plaintiff's car. He was called, towed it, and he informed the police he had the car. If he doesn't do this, he can be held criminally liable for stealing a car. The plaintiff never bothered to look for her car, and it sat on his lot for 10 days. The plaintiff's a nasty woman trying to get out of paying for something she owes. He followed protocol and is going to walk out of here today a winner. He's accused of not providing any information.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant towed her car illegally and did it by not calling the police. But the defendant says the police said that he did everything by the book and the cops even signed off. It's the case of copping to a tow.
Thank you, Douglas.
Come in.
Shantina Carrison.
Yes.
You are suing Runway Towing Corporation, represented here by Shadu Branch. You're the field supervisor?
Correct, ma'am.
For $4,121.05 in damages that you say you incurred because they inappropriately towed your car?
Yes.
All right, what happened?
Okay, so on 12/19 at around 9 p.m., I parked the car across the street from 4th Drive.
Why?
I parked it there because I was going upstairs to visit family. I was bringing some presents.
You don't live there, right?
No, it was
Okay.
like the holiday season.
Yep.
I had spent the night. When I got back up the next day at around 1 o'clock when I went outside, I noticed that the car wasn't there. So I started to freak out a bit. I'm like, okay, so where's the car?
Well, where did you park?
I parked across the street. I have it entered as evidence. There are a lot of driveways in that street, but the section, there was a tree. On the tree, it says not to block driveways.
Really big on the tree. There's a sign this big, and you block that person's driveway.
Well, it doesn't say, it says don't block driveways. It doesn't say you can't park in front of the tree. So the tree has a section of space.
If half of your car is not blocking the person's driveway, were you blocking the driveway?
Half of my car wasn't blocking the driveway.
How much of it was?
I don't believe, I thought that I cleared it. So it was late at night.
But you didn't. You were partially in the driveway, sufficiently to have gotten ticketed, correct?
So yes, there was a summons when I went to pick up the car.
Right, but the problem that you have is that nobody's telling you, correct? You're trying to find out where your car is, and the usual channels are not coming up according to you.
So there's two problems, main problems that I have. So the first problem is when I went outside, like you said, the car was missing. So I called 311. They told me that there's a possibility that the car could have been towed. So if the car was towed, that I need to call my local precinct, which is the 107. So I made that phone call. They told me that I needed to, I have the officers who I spoke to. They told me that I needed to wait because what happens is when a car is towed, it has to be issued a summons and they have to enter it into a tow log. Whichever tow company takes it,
that's two different ways that the city of New York records what occurred. One
Absolutely.
is that there should be a record of your ticket.
Yes.
And the other is that there must be, whenever there's a tow, a record of the tow. Okay. So that people know, people and the police know, should we be looking for a stolen car, or did this car get towed and I need to get it before I rack up a bunch of storage charges?
Absolutely.
Okay. So go on.
So those two things, right? So when I was making these phone calls, I just keep hearing over and over that there's no record of the tow, there's no record of the tow.
Is this a recorder?
This is me speaking to different officers.
So officers, they're actually talking to you?
They're actually talking to me, telling me that there's no evidence of a tow. And I have all the shield numbers of everybody who I contacted and spoke to. So I spoke to the officers. They're telling me that there's nothing. So now the next day, on the Monday, on 12/21 at 7:20, I spoke to Officer Olivo. She told me that there were no updates. And then they sent out.
Well, then when are they reporting it as stolen? At some point.
Well, this is the morning that I called because now they're saying, okay, you need to report the car stolen. So now at this point, I'm like,
now
okay.
It's 2 days later. You have no evidence of a ticket.
Right.
But that's not uncommon because it sometimes takes a bit for the ticket to go through.
I could agree with you.
Okay,
absolutely.
but you have no evidence of the tow. So do you report the car stolen?
I did. So I'm checking on the NYC server website. I have a screenshot of the 20th, the last time that I had, the very, very last time that I checked it.
The 20th of?
Of January, because that's when
January?
That's when it was finally reported to me that it was with this company. But prior to that, every day I'm checking online. Nothing else is popping up. Nothing is popping up.
All right, how did you find out that runway towing is it runaway or runway?
Runway.
Excuse me.
How did you find out how did you find out that runway towing had towed your car? When did you finally find out and how?
Okay. So it was just like the weirdest thing. So I get this phone call, and it's from my lien holder, because now, from what they described to me,
the lien holder being the bank?
Yes.
Okay.
Capital One. So what they said to me was, basically, these are the people who have your car. If you do not pick up the car, then there's a possibility that they could keep the car. I don't know. It just seemed very strange. So I didn't know where this phone call was coming, why it was that I was getting this phone call from the lien holder. So I was trying to figure out what was what. When I called Runway Towing, I believe it was on the 20th, I spoke to someone named Eric. So I go over there now that I know that they have my car. And, I'm talking to them about, well, why did you guys take the car? I didn't hear anything about it.
Well, you know why they took the car.
Well,
the good question is I didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know anything about it.
That's a valid question, but you know why they took the car.
So I spoke to them about the fact that, that there was no record on the tow logs, that the police are saying there was no record.
What did they say to you about that?
They claimed that they did put it into the tow log, that they went to the police station.
Okay, let's talk about that. I could pause one moment. Now, let's talk about that.
Okay.
What is the procedure when you tow a car?
We're not allowed to tow a car for blocked driveway until a ticket is issued by the police department. The ticket
Right,
was
so you
issued-
actually got the call not by the police department,
No,
but
we
by
got
the
call
homeowner.
from the homeowner.
Do you guys
first.
have a policy of taking a picture of the car where it's parked?
We do.
Can I see it?
This is where she parked at. That's the little space that.
No, I don't want a picture of the empty space. Do you have a picture of her car blocking the driveway was what
No,
I have.
I do not. The only proof I have of that is that the ticket was issued by the police officer.
No, I know. I just like to
But
see
that-
it.
this
I like to
is-
see how bad it was.
There's no space.
I like
in
to
the
see
car.
how bad she wanted to see her relatives that somebody else couldn't go see theirs. That's what I was trying to see. Yeah, there's driveways everywhere in this neighborhood. I mean, the sign could not be bigger. The sign's like 1.5 feet, 2
And
feet.
it's no space to park there. It's a yellow mark on the sidewalk that says "Do not park there." The space is about this big. You can't put a car there. So if you park a car there, you're going to be blocking not only one but two
Wow,
driveways.
that would have to be, it would have to be
A golf court.
A golf cart
Yeah.
to park there, because no matter how you cannot park there without blocking both driveways. Wow. Okay. So then what happens?
She said that it was no foul. When she came and spoke to me, I did my own investigation to make sure that we wasn't in the wrong. So I went to the precinct, and I also found where we wrote in the logbook and where.
Okay, I have that page. Let me see that and see if yours is better. But I have that page, and show me where you wrote in the logbook. What I see is a piece of paper covering the logbook.
We're not allowed to write in the logbook. We give it to the police officer, the desk officer.
Right, and then the police officer wrote in the logbook?
He has to staple it or write it in the logbook.
Listen to me. Are you going to show me a picture of where the police officer wrote in the logbook?
No.
Okay, what you're showing me then, if it's the same thing I have, is a picture of the tow sheet in this case laying on top of the logbook.
And it's actually stapled on the left side of the paper inside the logbook.
Let's see. That's good.
And you can see it clear from the phone, Your Honor, if I could go to that picture.
Yeah.
With the police officer sitting there.
Should I just scroll?
Yeah.
All right. When is this picture taken?
That's taken 2 days after I spoke. When she came to the office and said that it wasn't in the logbook, I went to the precinct myself and took the picture.
So this pink copy, you're trying to prove to me, look at me, Judge, I'm in the precinct and the pink copy is there in the precinct.
Right.
How about, do you guys have GPS on your driver's cars?
We do. It's in there. You have the staple pal. Yeah, it's in that one. It's highlighted. It says precinct next to it and how long he spent there.
And he's there how long, you said?
He's there for 14 minutes, I think, the whole time he's there in that neighborhood. At the top it says 14.
No, never mind that neighborhood. I want to know how long he's at the police department, because what I see is 2 minutes.
Okay, that's how long he probably stopped in front of the precinct, yes.
But how is he able to log it in
Again, Your Honor,
from 101 to 103?
All he does is go inside the precinct, let them know that they towed the car,
and hand them the receipt.
Slip. That's it. That's all he does.
In fact, he probably just puts it in a box. He doesn't talk to anyone.
That's all he does. And he said,
okay, all right. Let me just ask you this. Once she doesn't pick up her car,
right.
What is the first thing you do in furtherance of finding the owner?
We have 15 days. The car stays there for 15 days. After the 15 days, we do a lien search or a property search and find out who the lien holder is. We notify.
And did you do that?
We notify Capital One. So Capital One notified her, and then her husband called me and spoke to me on the phone prior to her coming in. I spoke to her husband. I let him know everything was going on, and then she came. Her husband. I told her husband how we contacted them, and they told her they was contacted through their lien hold. That's how they got our number.
All right, let's talk about what's going on. I'm going to take a recess, first of all, because I want to communicate with the police department. Because I know that you, as a citizen, did everything you could, other than parking in a wretched place during the holidays and plaguing other people's existence, which was rude. I know that you try to do everything right after that to try to find it, get it out of tow. But somebody, if they gave the pink slip in, that's their duty. And if that's their duty, then they did their duty. You shouldn't be out, but I can't take it out of their pocket. You get what I'm saying? But court is in recess.
All rise. So if a car is partially blocking a driveway, can it be towed?
If the other person's car cannot get through the driveway, then yes, it can be.
Can it be towed even if it's just a little bit blocking the driveway?
Yeah, I completely think so.
Suppose it's just like that much blocking the driveway.
I mean, if someone's blocked in, you can't trap them like
Do
that.
they have to be blocked in to tow them?
Yes.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Let's talk about a couple things. They didn't log it in. Somebody on that end didn't do their job at the police department. They didn't log it in. He has a picture with the pink slip and the officer with his bag. We couldn't reach the actual officer, wasn't on duty. But literally, open logbook, the pink slip there, the officer inches from him, everything else, which is what he went there to do that day to figure out, God, we're getting sued. You know, did my guy do his job? He also has a GPS where the guy is in that right by the police station, dropping off the thing that he needs to drop off. For me to order them, I know you're out a lot of money. For me to order them to pay you, they're the ones that have to have done something wrong. And it sounds to me like you have a very legitimate claim against New York for not doing the thing that they're supposed to do, which is pass along to the consumer the information that their car has been towed when their car has been towed, so that you don't rack up tow fees and rental cars and miss work to handle the mess. It happens every day. That's how it's supposed to happen. But someone was asleep at their job at 1 a.m. when your car got towed. I'm going to make sure that before you leave here today, you have any and all of the evidence that you need in case you wish to proceed against the city of New York on not having notified you in a timely fashion. Good luck with that. I don't know how they work out these claims and whether exactly. I feel so bad for you. I really do. But my hands are tied. I can't say I feel bad for her, so you pay her money. It's not how it works around here. All right? Based on what I've just stated and what I've heard, my verdict in this case is for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
Good.
So the judge finds for the defendant in this case. The plaintiff has just come out of the courtroom. You know, she really, really believed you. She wanted to find for you.
I was telling the truth.
And you got to agree, she went overboard, didn't she, to try and...
Well, I mean, she was doing her due diligence, trying
She
to figure out
was
what was going
indeed.
on.
Unfortunately, you didn't prevail, but she advised that you may have a case against the city. Are you going to
And I'm going to
pursue
pursue it because I shouldn't have to pay all of that money.
Yeah, no question.
For
It'll be
that
worth
long
it for
period
you.
of time. So.
Well, good luck. Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. You have some documents to sign. Well, look, you have to admit, your evidence saved your case for you.
Absolutely.
And the picture that you have, she was definitely illegally parked. No question about that.
Yes, absolutely.
You did your best.
I did, and it came out the way that we expected it to come out.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. You did a good job. And that'll do it for this case. Harvey, what do you think about this?
Doug, I mean, she may have a claim against the city. The problem is that a lot of cities have what they call sovereign immunity, which basically means even if they screwed up, they can't be sued. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on their way into the courtroom right now.